Quite a charcuterie board of matchups there.
Wow.
Yes,
it's antipasta.
Okay, we know Ravens-Bills is the best matchup. What's the second best matchup?
Eagles-Rams.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the matchup is, Pete will pick it wrong.
Look at it.
Almost a winless week for Pete. He finally cashed one in with the Rams blowing out the Vikings on Monday.
But I had a real shot to be better because the Packers should have covered. They got the ball late and threw that interception. They were going down to get back door.
Packers.
If I were you, I would never admit that you were on the Packers this season.
They were bad. That's a
Let
show
it go.
of itself.
Bears fans are so back after the Vikings getting embarrassed and the Packers getting
beat the Packers. Vikings got their ass
That team
kicked.
is a shell of itself.
Dan Campbell's staff is going to be gone.
2025, the year of the Chicago Bears.
The second youngest. No, they're the youngest team in the league. The Packers, by the way.
All right, let's pick the game, shall we? Let's go in order of kickoff. Saturday, 4:30, the first game this weekend. It's the Chiefs at home against the Texans. The line is 7.5. They won by 8 when they played 4 weeks ago to the Chiefs.
I think we're both in on the Chiefs here, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is what you're supposed to do. The Chiefs are well rested. They are well experienced. Patrick Mahomes' ankle no longer has tape on it, probably. Chris Jones' leg injury is no longer an issue. He's had time to stay off of it. Travis Kelce rested. You know he's going to come out there and ball. But if you are the Texans and you want to have the secret to success, I guess, in this game, you have to find a way to get these tackles on an island, put them to the test. You have the luxury of having 2 really good edge rushers. Go put the pressure on Patrick Mahomes, make him make the right decision, step up in the pocket, and that offense has to start fast because you know the Chiefs are going to be a little bit rusty.
2 really good pass rushers and good secondary play in the corners, and so that's usually a recipe to try and slow down Patrick Mahomes. But with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Kelce, and Hopkins, now you have 4 different guys and 4 different types of guys who can cause problems. You have the speed guys, you have in a Worthy and Brown that can stretch the field. That was an issue for them for much of this season. And then you have the guys who can sit down in the zones if you play zones in Hopkins, the 50-50 catches, and then you get Kelce, who's probably one of the best still at finding the soft spots in the zone. So it's going to be a tough matchup for that defense. When they played there last time, Tank Dell was a big part early in that game. And remember, that's the game he got hurt. And he went out of that game, and it changed the whole dynamic of that offense. And him not being there, they'll focus on Nico Collins. I think that's the biggest difference. I think the Chiefs win this game by 12, 13 points.
So you guys don't
bounce on them, but it ain't enough firepower to go get this Kansas City Chiefs team.
They found a bunch of drop passes that turned into interceptions, and Herbert threw some bad passes in that game. It was not a good game for the Chargers.
Chiefs are staring history in the face.
By the way, they charged it.
They definitely did. The Texans, back-to-back seasons with a playoff victory, but the guys see it ending in blowout fashion almost in this one. Saturday night, Commanders at Lions. This is the biggest spread of the week as when we're recording this on Tuesday. It is 8.5. Look, the Lions are expected to get David Montgomery back, but I know, Pete, you still have a lot of questions about that defense, which is so banged up.
I do, and they were great against the Vikings. But again, we saw Sam Darnold against the Rams, and he wasn't very good in that game either. I think you saw maybe this Lions defense wasn't as good as we saw that night. I think Jaden Daniels, nobody seems to rattle him. Nobody. He's the coolest, one of the coolest, if not the coolest rookie quarterback I've ever seen. And you saw that. They make the kick. He's sitting on the bench over there. Okay, we're on to the next round. There's no emotion. There's no excitement. It's business. It's all business. I think he's going to go in there. It's a fast track. And he's going to play faster than he did in Tampa, and I think that's going to show up. He's going to be electric. He's going to keep him in the game. I'll take the Commanders in the points.
I know one team that's not going to slow down when they see that guy running down the sideline. That's that defense of the Detroit Lions. Doesn't matter who's out there. I don't care if it's all pros or depth guys. They have they're seeing the game through one set of eyes in Detroit, and I don't even think that's the scary part. The scary part of this team. The Detroit Lions are as explosive in offense and consistent as offense as I've ever seen. And with Ben Johnson having Jared Goff playing the way he is, Amon-Ra St. Brown being as productive as he is, and as tough as that offensive line is and skilled, I think it's going to be as difficult a mountain to climb as Jaden Daniels has all year. You keep saying rookie. I think he's played himself out of being a rookie. Usually we wait till week 4 of year 2 to consider a guy a non-rookie. Jaden Daniels has done that already. Okay, he's already gotten you guys to the promised land. So Jaden Daniels going into the Lions' den, it's going to be unbelievable to watch, but I'm loving the Lions in this spot.
Here's a question to ask. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn have done a ton of interviews over the course of the last, week and a half or whatever. Is that going to impact the game in any way, shape, or form? I don't think it does, but some people will think that I've heard that said before, that these guys, is their focus truly on the game, or is it on themselves and what their future is going to be? So I don't think it will impact them, but that's a legitimate question to ask.
What do you think?
I think it probably, if I was a player in that locker room, I would be like, hey, I know you got a virtual meeting, but like, I need your game plan to be presented to our team and not some other ownership group. We're all hands on deck. We got so close to being in the Super Bowl last year, and we blew it in Santa Clara. Let's get this thing right this year, all hands on deck.
But this is where there is an I in team, because you're looking out for yourself, the reality is. Let's be real. Ben Johnson getting a job as the right job as a head coach is far more important to Ben Johnson than winning the Super Bowl. It is.
I think it would be harder for Ben Johnson to win the Super Bowl than it would be for Ben Johnson to get a job with or without an interview.
Yeah.
I think his resume speaks for itself.
And Aaron Glenn, same thing. What's more, if you really ask him and put him on a lie detector, what's more important, this team winning a Super Bowl or you getting a head coaching job? I guarantee if they said it was that team winning a Super Bowl, the thing would go nuts.
That's coming from a guy with an I in his last name, Prysko.
Prysko.
Yeah,
I am.
Pete, I'm surprised you're not talking about the total. It's 55.5.
It's going to be loose.
Which is the highest total for a playoff game in 6 years.
We'll get to that coming up.
Oh, okay. Great. Let's go to the Sunday games. Rams-Eagles is the first game on Sunday, mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern time. When these two teams met earlier this season, Saquon went crazy, set the franchise record with over 250 rushing yards.
Different defense now. They've grown up a lot on that side of the ball. They have a ton of young players on the defensive side of the ball. We saw that against the Vikings. They just mauled the Vikings. I mean, they stopped everything they did. They got after the quarterback. They're not going to stop Saquon Barkley. I don't think they can stop him. He's too good. That offensive line is too good. They will run the ball again. But I think the Rams will stay around in this game. I think Stafford's experience in the postseason, Sean McVay being a guy who can scheme so many different things up, I think he's going to find a way to keep them in the game. They won't win it, but they're going to hang around. I'll take the points.
The success that we saw from the Los Angeles Rams defensively against that Minnesota Vikings unit is in no way indicative of success against the Philadelphia Eagles, because you know where the bullies are in Philadelphia. They're up front, and that's the big question we've had on both sides of the ball for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't have those question marks for the Philadelphia Eagles. I love the Eagles in this spot. Place is going to be absolutely raucous. That stadium's unbelievable. With all the things we were talking about this past week, and this morning you and I talked about A.J. Brown and his reading curriculum. I really think the Eagles come out rolling. I don't care if they run it till the cows come home or if they let Jalen Hurts throw the ball all around the yard. I love the Eagles in this spot.
But can Jalen Hurts throw the ball all around the yard? That's the question. I mean, at some point, the Eagles are going to have to throw the ball better than they've been throwing.
He hasn't had to, though.
He'll have way more time than Sam Darnold. I'll tell you that much.
3 straight games they've allowed 13 or fewer points. That's the longest such stretch since that Super Bowl winning season about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, the defense is playing really good football. Don't get me wrong, but at some point you're going to have to throw the football better than they've thrown it, and it might be in this game. They have to. You have to throw the football. Everybody's going to stop the run, and you can stop the run. Look, as good as they run the ball, if you bring the 8th man down and can constantly have him there, and you have one-on-one opportunities, you got to take those.
Can't stop him every time. Saquon will take it for 80. You bring 8 guys in the box. That means three guys on the perimeter.
Or he'll go down late in the game.
That's a selfless professional
It really
play there.
is. They didn't need it, Pete.
No, he made the right decision in that spot.
I like it. All right.
I commend it.
Let's get to it. CBS, 6:30 Eastern time on Sunday. This is the one right here. It's Ravens, a slight favorite in Buffalo. They played early on this season, Pete. Ravens won by 25 points, and Derrick Henry went crazy in that game.
I say this all the time. Inject this game right smack dab into my heart.
Mainline
every bit of it.
One shot.
Give it to me. I want every bit of it. Because this is everything I love in football. You got 2 MVP candidates. Both of them could make a case for why they should be the MVP. And you have the Buffalo story. You have the the Baltimore story with Lamar Jackson trying to get past, being a failure in the playoffs. Same with Josh Allen trying to get to Mahomes. They all want to get to Mahomes and be Mahomes. Well, to be that guy, you have to beat this guy. And that's what this game is all about. Josh Allen, to me, looks like a guy on a mission. Lamar Jackson is a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong. He's had a great season. I love watching him. And you know what you can tell from both these guys? They love playing the game. They live it and love it. And they're not sitting on the side. Look, ever see Lamar Jackson? He's sitting over there watching the game. Quarterbacks go sit on the sideline.
He loves football.
He watches it. He loves the game. I can't wait to see this. The biggest difference is having your linebackers back. Milano and Bernard are difference makers on that defense. It took Milano a while to get back into playing form. Last week, he was Matt Milano again. And to stop Derrick Henry, you have to be that guy. I think they slowed Derrick Henry. They're not going to stop him. Nobody stops Derrick Henry because he's such a big power runner. But I think they slow him. I think Allen makes enough plays. I think Buffalo advances.
I think this is a real toss-up. And to everything Pete said, I have such an appreciation for both of these quarterbacks and all they've done. I wish they could share the MVP trophy, but it's easy to imagine that the winner of this game could be the winner of the MVP trophy and have the opportunity to advance and beat the Kansas City Chiefs or play the Kansas City Chiefs. But that being said, they're at home. The Buffalo Bills, I love the Bills in this spot. I love them. I love them. And there's only a handful of those stadiums where you say it's a true advantage. I think in Buffalo you really do have that. Philadelphia, I alluded to that being a really hard place to play. Detroit, this is one of those spots where you got to just go with the home field.
And it's not a huge advantage against the Ravens in large part because of the way the Ravens play. But and also because the Ravens play in the cold weather. But it's supposed to be 9 and snowy. That's the
So
low.
you hate that. You want a dome everywhere.
Well, I'd love the dome. I love a dome.
This guy doesn't like football weather.
No, it ruins the game.
He wants to mainline this game, but he wants to put a
give it to me. Give it to me indoors.
As long as it's not windy. As long as it's not windy.
Oh,
okay. I'm okay with it.
Which team has a better chance to beat the Chiefs?
The Ravens.
I disagree. I think Buffalo does.
I know the Bills already beat them, but I'm just saying for argument's sake.
I picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl.
Isaiah Likely's toe. Come on.
I picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl, and I think this is their year. I really do. I will be astounded if it isn't their year. And don't get me wrong, going into Kansas City or even beating this Baltimore team, this is a tough road to get. If you'll have earned it if you get there and win this. And think about this: if they get there and they beat Baltimore, beat Kansas City at their place, and then play a Super Bowl against Detroit or Philadelphia and beat that team, you'll have earned that Super Bowl.
All right, it is time.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng, và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là nhóm củi. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là bếp than. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nha. Đầu tiên sẽ là màu gì vậy? Màu xanh dương đi. Mọi người, màu xanh đây, màu xanh đi nha. Tiếp đến là màu đỏ nha. Mọi người ơi, đây màu đỏ đây nha. Tiếp đến là màu tím.
Ủa, anh mới điểm này.
Đúng.
À,
Đúng.
hôm nay thứ mấy của anh? Thứ năm. Thứ năm hả? Mai thứ bảy.
Anh có gửi vợ. Mọi người bây giờ sẽ đến một cam nha.
Bây giờ chi tiết cùng các bạn.
Đến màu hồng, đến màu vàng nha mọi người. Mọi người ở đây nha. Bây giờ mình sẽ thêm màu tiếp là màu hồng nha. Mình kết vòng nha, mình kết vòng nha mọi người. Nạc lôi từ trong những suy nghĩ về chàng, cảm giác vừa có người yêu có sao mưa nào vậy ta anh này vui đâu. Lường lối ở trong những suy nghĩ về chàng, cảm giác vừa có người yêu có sao mình.
Don't sign it.
Mọi người ơi, vòng của mình hoàn thành rồi đây. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc nha. Nếu các bạn thích thì cho mình xin một like và chia sẻ và đăng ký kênh nha.